Hey guys, Doug the Gamer Dad coming at you again with a video. Today we are going on a Doug the Gamer Dad side quest, and we're going to be doing a test of these 5 motherboards. As you have probably come to expect from my part acquisition habits, this is a lot of parts that I had gotten in the past. This is something that I got years ago. It was a set of who knows how much stuff. These 5 motherboards happened to be micro ATX. They all happened to be from around the time frame of maybe 2008 to 2012. And so they all have processors on them. Some of them have RAM, but there's 5 of them here, and I've got them sorted from least likely to work to most likely to work. And we're going to dive in, we're going to check if they work, and then update the BIOSes on them if we can. So first, and coming in at least likely to work, I have an ASUS P5G41T-mx revision 1.03. Reason this is least likely to work, get that out of the bag there, and there's literal rust on the board. So I'm going to spray this thing down with some deoxidizer and let that soak in and set in, and we will come back to this board at the end. Okay, that board is drying after I've sprayed it down heavily with the deoxidization stuff, and here's our second most likely to not work. This is an Intel desktop board, DH61WW, and reason this is unlikely to work is, if you look closely, our top end of the 2 RAM slots is kind of broken / bent. Not sure if they're going to make good contact. Alright, so we got it set up basically as basic as possible. I've got 2 2-gig sticks of DDR3 in here. They were hard to seat because the bent ends at the tops of these 2 slots. I have ghetto rigged up just a basic cooler, and I threw an i5 on there. It had a Pentium dual core on there, but I don't know that that was actually compatible with the BIOS that's on here, because it does require a BIOS update to support the Pentium dual cores. It has an i5 2500, and we're gonna see what happens. Let's press our power button and hope for the best. It's one of these. We powered on. We have power to our keyboard. Again, with those RAM slots bent, there's a good chance that it just straight up doesn't work. Although this RAM is also untested, I'm going to try one more set of RAM if this does not work. Yep. We got a post with a single other stick, and this is one that I had used at another board before. Let's see if I can get into the BIOS. Yeah, so there's our i5 2500, our single 2-gig stick. BIOS version right here. I'll look this up. This is from March 27th of 2012. And as I was going to look up the BIOS version, this happened. So I was getting this board set up to where I was going to be doing a series of BIOS updates. I got all the files ready, and as I was kind of waiting around for my flash drive to finish doing a full format, I noticed some spots of corrosion underneath right there, under that plastic bit right there. And from spraying the other board down with my deoxidization solution, I'm almost out of it. So I'm actually going to postpone working on this one until I can deoxidize this board and clean it thoroughly. I don't want to be running BIOS updates on a board that's questionable, so we're going to wait. And so with that decision to wait, we are back at our first board, which has now had plenty of time to dry after spraying it down with the deoxidization solution. I'm going to flip the power supply on here. Got a Core 2 Duo E6600 mounted, and we're going to give this a try. Our front panel connections are here. If I can keep the fan cable out of the fan, that would be great. Let's see if we're going to get anything. Oh, hey! Entered setup, and let's see what we got. System information. Core 2 Duo 6600. We're at BIOS version 0604. That's my 2 gig stick of RAM that I threw in, just, for, let's see our hardware monitor. Are we making good enough? Yeah, 28 Celsius is fine for what we're doing right now. We're not going to be running this for a super long time. Make sure we got that pressed down a little bit. I didn't throw any thermal paste on here just because I'm trying to get through these a little bit more quickly. And this has Easy Flash. Awesome. Let's see if there's any newer BIOS revisions for this thing and get it updating. So I just went ahead and replaced the CMOS battery before starting the BIOS update. Again, we're on version 0604. And shout out to the Retro Web for hosting all of the BIOS files. And we're going to try and update it straight to version 1101. Okay, I just got through trying 3 different flash drives. Third one is being detected by the BIOS. So we're going to go ahead and start the update here. And we're flashing a BIOS version from 2012. And the original was from 2010, so nice big update there. This BIOS file is only 1 megabyte, so the update is already done. It's about to restart. And there we are, fully updated, version 1101 from 6/8 of 2012. It's a pretty late BIOS version for an LGA 775 system, but it's up and running. And I think this will make a really good base for a Windows XP gaming PC. Probably with a Core 2 Duo like this. Maybe a Pentium 4 even. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. So that's one functional board. Let's move on to the next. And so our next candidate here is a ASUS P7H55-m LX. So this is a first-gen i-series, i5, i7, and it has an i7 860 mounted on it. So we're going to get some RAM in this, get it hooked up, and see what's going on with it. All right, so we're all hooked up here with the power supply. We got a stick of RAM. We threw a cooler on there, and I did put a very basic, like, GT, I don't know what that is, 710, 720. I'm like 99% sure that the first gen i7s on this socket did not have any integrated graphics. So, we're just playing it safe here and making sure that we have some way to get video. Hopefully that card's not too new. Our fan slowed down like right away. There we are, 730. Hey, we'll take it. Version 0402 on this BIOS. And we have Easy Flash again. So yeah, let me get the newest BIOS file for this so we can get this updated. And yeah, here we are, straight into the ASUS Easy Flash 2. Yeah, updating BIOSes in this era of hardware is so much easier than it is for other stuff, but we're going from 0402 to 0406, and that takes us from October of 2010 all the way up to June of 2012. Basically the same time frame as the last motherboard that we updated to. And similarly to the other one, I think that this would make a good base for an XP machine rather than trying to do something newer with it. And in light of that, this being the only fully working out of the i-series I have right now, I think I will be tossing a dual core on here, because dual cores are so much better suited for XP gaming. And yeah, in light of that, here we go with a Core i5-680. So this is the fastest out of all of the dual cores on this socket. Are we even seated in the right way? I think we are now. And yeah, let's get a quick post on this and make sure we're showing correctly. We got that mounted. Let's get into the BIOS, assuming that we get a post. And there it is. Core i5-680, 3.6 gigahertz dual core. Our i7 was a quad core, but it was only at 2.8 gigahertz, so this is going to be quite a bit faster for XP games, because they typically don't take more than 2 cores anyway. And yeah, for building a kind of like overkill Windows XP gaming machine, I would pair this up with something like a GTX 560 Ti from PNY here. This is a 1 gig card. Kind of perfect for running everything from 2001 up through like 2008, 2009 time frame. So there we have 2 fully working, fully updated. And moving right along to our third board, this is from Intel, and actually our last 2 boards here, this one and then the final one, are both the same model as each other, so that's going to potentially make the updating process very easy. So yeah, this board came with a Core 2 Quad Q6600 on it, which is an overclocking king for its time. People loved overclocking those things from their stock 2.4 gigahertz up closer to 3 gigahertz. And then that is mounted here on this super basic motherboard that has, you know, no overclocking capabilities to speak of. We're going to see what we got going on here. F2 to go into the BIOS on an Intel board. CMOS battery failure. I need to swap that out. Okay, so we are on version 0077 for this motherboard. I'm going to have to check into this and see. Let's see our hardware monitor, make sure we're not like... CPU die, package temperature, processor hot. I mean, it's not though. I have it on a I have the copper cooler on it. It's fine. Maybe a BIOS update will fix that. Okay, so what would we say we're on? 0077. Yeah, let's check for some BIOS updates and see if we can't get this fixed up. Okay, we're in business with a BIOS flash running. You have to do it through a recovery unless you have a specialized flashing. And we're taking care of updating this from version 77, which that dates to July of 2008. We're updating that to the latest, which is version 135 from February of 2011, looks like. Flashing image for management engine firmware right now. Hopefully this goes all the way through. I'll keep you updated. Okay, it says the flash update has completed successfully. Restart, and if the recovery jumper was used, then turn off the computer and reinstall the jumper, which is exactly what we did. There is a jumper setting right there, and I removed the jumper temporarily. Okay, we have the jumper back in place, powering on, and we are here. I'm going to start mashing F2, get it into the BIOS setup, and check and make sure that we have taken the newest. Yeah, I know the CMOS battery has failed. The way that CMOS battery is held in, I'm not certain that I could remove it without damaging something. But here we are. Newest BIOS revision. Let's check. Did that fix our hardware info? Hardware monitoring. Processor thermal margin 0. Yeah, I don't think that fixed it. I think that we have a busted CPU temperature sensor on this board, but it's functional. The board is functional, and let's count this as a win, because we could definitely throw some kind of dual core on here and make another Windows XP gaming PC. We'll move on to the final one, which is the same model as this. Got it. We're getting our new CMOS battery right there. Very nice. You know, just as I was about to start swapping this motherboard out with the last one, which is the same model, a thought entered my head. I was thinking, you know, this is a Core 2 quad. Unlikely that I'm going to leave that in there for when I eventually do make Windows XP gaming PC out of this. And so I started looking through my collection of other CPUs, and it crossed my mind that maybe that processor temperature sensor thing that was broken on the board is not the board. Maybe it's the CPU. And so I did grab the CPU that I probably would wind up using. This is a Core 2 Duo E8500. So that is a 3.16 gigahertz dual core. I'm going to toss that on. We'll put a cooler on and see what we get. Okay, so we got the CPU swapped out. It's still strange to me this thing is automatically powering on whenever we flip the power switch on the power supply. It still says the CMOS battery is dead, but I just swapped it. We are detecting the CPU correctly. And now we're seeing the processor fine. So it is literally just that this particular Core 2 quad has a busted temperature sensor in it, which makes it a great test candidate for testing out our next board, which is the same model. So I think that I solved the thing where I would flip the power supply on and this board would just power itself on. I think that the jumper for the BIOS was actually in the wrong spot from the beginning, from when I first... Yeah, when I first started messing with it. And because now I flipped the power supply on and it didn't power itself on automatically. And one or more fans are missing or have failed. I mean, maybe it's... Oh. We're in a maintenance mode, so actually maybe I maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know. Weird. But hey, we have the newest BIOS installed. We have a nice E8500 on here. Oh, it's giving me the stuff about the CPU fan because literally one of the wires was in the CPU fan. No, we're good. I'm going to move on to the final board. I have had enough of this one. And now we're on to our final board here. And yeah, looking here, DG45ID. So this is the exact same model of motherboard. This one came with a bunch of RAM on it, and the CPU is a Xeon that we don't even know whether it's supported by this board or not. So I'm actually going to swap that with the Q6600 that we know has a bad thermal sensor. So I went to swap out our CPU, and this, oh, hopefully this focuses, this fuzz that I have in my wire snips, this thing, was in the pins. And I was able to get it out without bending anything. I feel really accomplished being able to do that. And now we are all hooked up, and we're going to flip power switch. We do automatically power on. I really feel like that's processor related because that happened with our Q6600 basically exclusively. Yeah, and it also thinks that the CMOS battery is bad when it's not. I just replaced that. So this is on the same BIOS revision as the other one was. And just for sanity, yeah, processor hot. So it's legit just that chip is no good. Let's get our BIOS flashed. Alright, jumper is removed right there for the BIOS flash. Just temporarily at least. Excuse me, I did take out 2 of the RAM sticks. And let's see if we go through with this. So I do still have the file on the same flash drive. If for some reason it doesn't like this, I can always swap us over to a different set of RAM or a different CPU, whatever it takes. So yeah, it sat there on that screen for a while, and so I've swapped our RAM totally over to the same RAM that I used on the other board for doing the BIOS recovery. Oh, it powered itself on. Do we get a beep this time? Maybe? It is taking its sweet time to display anything, though. I am using the built-in graphics, which is exactly how I did it last time. Huh. Strange. Okay, I really just didn't like how this was acting with that Core 2 quad installed. So I have swapped it over here to a Pentium D 945, just because that's what I had sitting around to spare real close. And immediately, I'm noticing that when I swap it... Oh. Yes, maybe? Are you not compatible with Pentium D? Once again, the retro web to the rescue. Here's our CPU support, and it doesn't support Pentium D. It supports Pentium dual core, but that is not the same chip. Consider me to be shocked to find out that there are Intel motherboards for this socket that are so new that they don't support some of the older processors. I didn't realize that was a thing. We're installing a Core 2 Duo now, E7500. That is on the compatibility list, so hopefully it works. And now for our, fourth attempt to get this thing to flash the BIOS. Let's start up our diesel engine, because I had the CPU cable going into the CPU fan. It's getting late and getting tired. I'm hoping that this just kind of works at this point to do the BIOS flash. That's a beep. And that's no video output. I'm not enjoying the no video output part. Let's see. Okay, we did display, although the colors were off. Am I just... I'm losing it, chat. Okay, so I reseated the VGA and DVI connectors a couple of times. Recovery. Let's go. Okay, we're going to let that go through. And here we are a couple of minutes later. Recovery is complete, flash is updated, and we're going to power off, put our jumper back in place. Jumper is back in place. We are getting ready to post. Let's go into our BIOS and verify everything. There it is. Core 2 Duo E7500, so this is a 2.93 gigahertz, so this is a lower clock speed than our 3.16 gigahertz, the E8500, and it does have half of the L2 cache. That was kind of why it starts with E7 instead of E8, is because it comes with 3 megs of L2 cache instead of 6, but we are functional. We have the 2011, February 2011 BIOS is installed. Hardware monitoring shows that we have plenty of thermal margin, and we're reading everything out correctly. So this is great. Yeah, we're gonna back out, we're gonna save. And so at this point we have 4 out of our 5 motherboards fully updated, up and running. We just have the one that had some corrosion on it that I want to take care of. But other than that, we have 4 motherboards that are fully functional with CPUs, and that is great. If you have stuck around this long, thanks for hanging out with me tonight on my side quest to test out these motherboards and see what's working, what's not, and getting some BIOSes updated. And yeah, I will be continuing to upload when I can. When I have time to work on my computer stuff in the evenings, I'll just record it and upload it. And if you're interested in following along with that journey, then I'll see you in the next video.